All right. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, as you can see, we got a full house. That's right, we got the full horsemen. All right. Y'all know what it is. You know who I am, Coach Williams, the NFL Encyclopedia. That direction. Am I point correctly? I don't think so. I don't know. Let me try that again. That direction. Yeah, that's even better. There you go. So that direction, Trish TV, the quarterback of the show. What's up, man?
What's good? What's good? What's good?
Down below, panel 316, the good guy with the black hat. What's up?
I am rolling, gentlemen.
And then down below at an angle, Steve Space Age White, man. What's good, dog?
It's happening, man. Can't complain. Can't complain.
There you go. There you go. All right, let's get into it. So, um, shoot, I just got home 15 minutes ago. Hey, what we talking about tonight, E?
So, the we're gonna talk about it out of the blue contract extension. That's the first thing we're gonna talk about.
Okay.
On last night, 49ers cornerback Diamador Lenore. If you're not a fan, you have no idea who this guy is, but he is the outside corner / slot corner for the San Francisco 49ers. Signed a contract extension for 5 years, $92 million, $18.4 million average. Now, some folks might say, hey, why did y'all get this guy this extension? Well, Diamador Lenore is a fifth-round draft pick selected by the 49ers, and the 49ers are known for making their day 3 picks work. And he's progressively gotten better and really quietly has been playing on an all-pro level this season. And he's gotten better over the years. The good news about that is I think John Lynch learned his lesson from the Deebo Samuel signing. He learned his lesson from the Nick Bosa signing. He learned his lesson especially from the Brandon Ayuk signing, especially with him being injured. There will not be a holdout this offseason because he's been extended and he got ahead of the market. Because had they waited like they did and procrastinated like they did, all those with all those other contracts, we could be looking at Diamador Lenore asking for $23 million because that's the market. But that's getting ahead of the market because, like I always like to say, yesterday's price is not today's price. Today's price is not tomorrow's price. So hats off to him for really grinding it out because, yes, you can be a fifth rounder too, a day 3 pick and get the bag.
Yes, you can.
If you go out there and hustle like he did, he broke into the starting lineup 2 years ago and has done nothing but elevate his game since. And that's really good for the 49ers defense, which also the writing's on the wall for Charvarius Ward, Mooney Ward, who was going to be a free agent, is going to be a free agent at the end of the season. I doubt he'll be back now that they've signed Diamador Lenore and then they've drafted Renardo Green out of Florida State in the second round, he's on his rookie deal. So what up, Cleve? So most people say, well, you're going to put your faith in a guy that, that y'all just drafted. Well, here's the thing. If you look up on PFF, Renardo Green is the second rated corner in coverage in the league. Not rookies, out of all corners in the league as a rookie. He's the second rated in coverage. So basically, he has nowhere to go with up. And they feel like they can move on from Charvarius Ward because of how well Renardo Green is playing, which he'll probably have to start against the Seahawks this Sunday because for those who don't know, Charvarius Ward lost his daughter about a week and a half ago, and he's still on bereavement leave. So, but yeah, that was an interesting turn of events. Normally, we don't get long-term contract extensions in week 10. I mean, can y'all remember the last time somebody got an extension in week 10? So it was different. I was totally taken by surprise by it, and I had my ear really close to the ground on a lot of things happening out there. But yeah. So, yeah, congratulations to Diamador Lenore. Well earned. Let's move on. Okay. Well, since we out of San Francisco,
That was quick, but okay, go ahead. What's
I
up?
just thought about that. Just since we still I said, I know a lot of y'all probably did not see the game between the 49ers and the Buccaneers last week, but I'm pretty sure everybody saw the sideline altercation that occurred between Debo Samuel, the long snapper, Tabor Pepper, and the kicker, Jake Moody, who at that point had missed 3 field goals in that game. Chip shot field goals. Yeah. So to elaborate on that, basically, we saw on the film that at one moment Debo had his left hand on Pepper's neck, and in one deft move came off of there and slapped the crap out of Jake Moody and then walked off. Now most people are saying, well, you don't do that to a teammate. Hey man, listen, this man missed 3 field goals. The 49ers won that game by 3 points. That man left 9 points out there on the field. Hey man, you need to get your together. You know what I'm saying? And I talked about it on the on our TikTok page, but I know some people are gonna say, well, you should never put your hands in that. Hey man, this football, man. This is football. Okay. Now you probably say, well, what the long snapper have to do with it? Well, basically, after it got explained, Debo Samuel went up to the kicker and said, hey man, you need to lock in. You need to lock in. And Tabor Pepper jumped into a conversation that had nothing to do with him. And he was like, you're not going to talk about my... And he wound up getting Darth Vader. And that's basically what happened because Debo basically said, don't let the outfit I wore pregame fool you. I will put these hands on you. So that is basically the essence of what happened in the incident. Fellas, what are your thoughts?
I mean, my thing is, you leave 9 points on. Okay, I can under frustration in the fact that you leave 9 points on the table. You're drafted in the fourth round. In this day and age, fourth rounders are supposed to be productive. Third round is supposed to be productive. So you being drafted in that position, that is probably the least physical demanding position on the football field. I can understand the frustration. I think Debo, being one of the cogs and main leaders on the team, I think should have been able to handle that a little better. But I can understand the frustration, especially because the season hasn't gone really the way that they planned, even though they're still in the hunt, but they're not as dominant, overwhelmingly powerful as they normally look in the NFC. So basically every game counts. So for him to do that, and what if they had lost? They would have magnified it even more. I'm trying to think of some game. Forgot what team lost a game, and that happened with them. The field goal kicker missed like 2 field goals, and I think that team lost by 3. And I'm trying to remember what game that was, but like that's the margin for error in the league. So Debo should have had a little more restraint, but I can't understand the frustration.
Steve?
Yeah, I agree. I think it's frustration that's boiled up as the season goes on. And I mean, if you played any organized sport, you get frustrated when we have a certain standard for teammates and they don't meet them. In football, teammates fight all the time. It's just part of the sport. It happens. He's frustrated, and now I don't think he should have done that, but I mean that happens in football.
Yeah. I mean, he did apologize. And we'll say that he did apologize for the other case. He said, I got out of character and everything, but it's kind of one of those things like, hey, I don't condone what you did, but I understand. You know what I'm saying? It was like, dude, you missed 3 field goals. We on the verge of losing to a team that we shouldn't be losing to. Period. And it's like this should not be a close game right now. So I get it. And this is right after a drive where Debo Samuel had like a 30-yard catch and run, to get them down there. It's like he didn't went out there and sweated out and got out there and took the hits and everything, and you gonna miss the kick? Hey man, hey. So I get it. Brandon, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, man. You know what? When you in game mode, your emotions are a lot higher because you're trying to win. Um, San Francisco um has not been San Francisco this year, but a lot of that is due to injuries. So I'm sure now that since they're getting a lot healthier, um, you said Greenlaw comes back real soon. Um,
Probably within the next 2 weeks.
yeah, within the next 2 weeks. So I'm sure San Francisco's trying to climb. I'm not saying they're in a hole, but they're just trying to, I guess trying to continue to show everybody that hey,
No,
we
no,
still
you're
going
right. You're right. They in a hole. Go ahead. You can say that. That's
to.
yeah. 5-4. I mean, you in a hole.
5-4. That's not, but that okay. Probably the San Francisco standards, I can say yes, but it's not a ho, okay? Because you guys can still show that you're still one of the best teams in the conference. And so yes, of course your emotions are extra high. And you missed 3 field goals. Like that's tough. That's tough. 1 field goal, everyone understands. Everyone understands 1 field goal, okay? 2 field goals, okay. But 3, that's a lot, man. That's a lot. And it's not like he's been a consistent field goal kicker either.
That's the next thing.
That's the thing, really. Like, yeah, he missed 3 field goals, but dude, you have not been consistent, and that's gonna hurt you as you approach the playoffs for seeding, but then also number 2 when you get into the playoffs because you can't like missing field goals is like turnovers.
Yes.
You cannot miss
Accurate.
a field goal.
Yes.
You cannot miss a field goal.
Accurate.
And just this season, the San Francisco 49ers have the 32nd ranked special teams.
And see,
Like
special
they
teams is
have,
so important.
they've lost 2 games behind special teams. Muff punts, missed blocking assignments, missed tackles on kick returns, kick
God,
coverage, missed field
bad.
goals.
That's bad.
And Jake Moody, the kicker for the Niners, has been out for several weeks with a high ankle sprain because he had to make a tackle because the coverage was so bad on the kick return. And the messed up part about it is the kickers that the Niners signed from off the couch had a better percentage than he did. And these guys are on the couch. Meanwhile, San Francisco gave up a 3rd-round draft pick. They used a 3rd-round draft pick to draft a kicker, which, remember I told y'all when it happened, I said, I can't say the words. It's going to cost us some games. That's what I said. He going to cost us some games. And he has cost the Niners some games in the past. They missed the extra point in the Super Bowl, which could have been the difference between them going into overtime or not. You know what I'm saying?
No, I get it.
So, like, he's been a suspect kicker to begin with. And yeah, you miss 1 kick. Oh, well, hey, man, it happens to the best of us.
Yeah.
2nd kick. All right, now, come on now. Let's go. 3rd kick. Yeah, I'm ready to lay my hands on you, too.
And I mean, and like you said, the first kick, man, like you said, happens to the best of us. I mean, think of all the kickers in our lifetime that we have seen come through, and they have missed at least 1 field goal in a game, whether it's Gary Anderson, Mort Anderson, currently Justin Tucker, David Akers, Vanderjack, Vinatieri. I mean, just kickers after kickers after kickers have missed field goals. At least once. At least I'm not gonna say like once every single game during the season.
Yeah, it happens.
But
But it
these
happens,
guys,
right?
these
Exactly.
guys have built a reputation to be studs.
Right.
When they miss one, it's not like, oh man, you trash. It's like, okay, you know what? Nobody's perfect.
Right.
Or you're almost shocked that they missed one. You're like, you sick? You okay?
I can't believe he missed that. That type of
What? He missed that 35-yard field goal? Wait, what?
Fairbairn, this past Sunday, Fairbairn, kicker for the Texans, when he shanked that kick so wide. He has a very good reputation as a good kicker, as a good kicker.
Yep.
And he missed that one. Everybody was like, whoa. So that's one thing when you've built that reputation up as, hey man, I'm pretty much automatic. And you miss one, it's kind of like, okay, you know what? We're gonna let him make it because it happens to the best of us. Some of the best, Jerry Rice has dropped passes. You know what I'm saying?
Emmitt Smith has fumbled
Emmitt
the
Smith has
football.
I was about to say that Emmitt Smith has fumbled before, but we know that they're the greatest that ever played their position. So you let that go. That second one, you still kind of like, all right, now come on, let's get it together. But that third one, yes, I'm ready to choke you.
Tom
I'm
Brady's throwing
done.
interceptions.
Yeah, I mean, 3. Come on, bro. All right, so we're gonna get off that topic. Speaking of actions and words that have echoed throughout this week, when Michael Parsons was interviewed after the Cowboys lost to the Philadelphia Eagles, he basically said, Mike can go do whatever he wants, blah blah blah, so on and so forth. But I want to win a championship for my teammates. So I'm paraphrasing, but a lot of those particular comments were met with controversy this week throughout the news cycle and the media, sports news cycle and the media and everything, because basically he, quote unquote, threw his coach under the bus. He didn't even call him Coach McCarthy. He said Mike. Now, he's not wrong. I want to start with that. Okay. But gentlemen, what are your thoughts on should he have, and I'm gonna go last on this one, but should he have made those comments publicly? And go.
Let me say, I'm gonna say it real quick because I want the resident Cowboys fans to have their own time. So I'm
Yes,
gonna say mine real fast.
absolutely.
As far as for Micah, so when I first heard it, I was like, man, nah, you can't say that, Micah. You can't say that about McCarthy. I don't care how you feel, bro. You can't say that. And then I waited a day, let it marinate. Then I listened to what he said on the podcast and his explanation of what he said. And I was like, nah, you don't get it. You don't understand. I didn't leave with like, oh, okay, he meant it this way. It's like, no, bro. The optics of what you said and the position that you are in that organization, you cannot say that. If you want to highlight Zach Martin and all that, that's all well and good. Go ahead and highlight him. But when you said someone that has put in more work in the organization than Mike McCarthy has ever done, that's where you drew the line. What he said in the beginning wasn't even bad because coaches can leave one job, get another job, whereas players, you could lose a job and you could be out of the league. That's very true.
That's true.
Nah,
But that second part of what he said, nah, man, that was some truth that came out your mouth. And you're trying to rectify it, but that was some truth that came out your mouth for how you feel about Mike McCarthy.
nah, man. So, okay, I got to push back for you, Tristan. Okay, now was it unprofessional? Absolutely. But
That's all we're saying.
we're not gonna say Mike that put mad work in, man. Listen, I've taken it personal when he revealed how he lied. And you take it you're off of football, right? To be in the lab offensively, to in your shed, just in the lab for an entire year to get right. Then you interview for the Cowboys. You admit you lied during the interview, and you still keep your job. You still keep your job. Okay. Okay, three back to back, 12-win seasons. That's cool. I get it. But Mike McCarthy lost the locker room, I feel like, at the end of last season.
Probably did.
And was it professional? No. You never heard Michael Parsons speak like that. It just shows you how they don't respect Mike McCarthy. And he lost it. Don't know if he ever earned it. When the Cowboys were winning, it may have appeared that way. But, when you're winning, everything's all fine. But he's not respected in the locker room.
Well, but you're pushing back thinking that I am disagreeing with what he said. I'm not disagreeing with what he said.
No. I'm just saying he didn't put in mad work. I don't think he put in as much work as
Yeah, I agree. I just don't think Michael Parsons should have said it in front of cameras.
I agree. It was very unprofessional.
That's what we're saying. We're not, because I prefaced before we started this segment with he's not wrong. However, is that part right there. And you're already being labeled as this dysfunctional organization, and then you basically give credence to that theory by saying something that publicly If you understand what I'm saying.
He shouldn't have said that. But everyone knows Mike McCarthy's a damn man walking in Dallas. Like everyone knows that.
Oh yeah, he's a lame duck coach.
Everyone knows that.
It's like
Absolutely.
coach. That's
We know
exactly what he
this.
is.
You know, he's not respect. They just know that they just count. I know I'm personally counting the days for his termination.
They play like they're counting the days. That's how it looks on the field.
Absolutely.
And that's exactly what it is.
They mailed it in. Yeah.
Yeah, we're in tank mode. We're in tank mode now.
Yeah,
You know?
I'd be surprised if Dallas even gets another win.
I said that weeks ago, bro.
I'll be surprised.
And schedule's looking real daunting.
Oh, I know. Hey, don't we play Carolina?
I am not sure.
No.
Yes, I think they do. Yeah.
No,
I think we play Carolina, and I wouldn't be surprised if we lose to Carolina.
We do play.
I would not be surprised if we lose to Carolina. That's how Dallas is gonna find a way to lose to Carolina.
That's fine. We tank.
No, I know. Hey, listen. I told you. Listen. I told you. The only thing I got going on in my mind right now is the draft, the offseason, who our next head coach is going to be, and I got that little chime music for when the players about to get drafted.
But here's my thing. Here's my thing with it. While we're on this topic with the Cowboys for a moment, here's my thing. Based on what the record is going to be, y'all going to be like at worst maybe top 7 in the draft. What are y'all doing with that pick? Because it's not just one player away from contending.
Well, I know you ain't got to tell me that.
So what's and then you done gave Dak all this money, so it ain't like you're going after one of the quarterbacks. So what are you doing with the pick? Because it sounds like I would trade it back to collect more and see how I can build this roster.
You know what, Tristan? I agree with you, but I'm not in that organization, so I can't even tell you, man.
Listen, we'll probably know us.
Unless there's a dog offensive lineman.
Well, we'll probably get a receiver or the best D tackle available. But if I were one making calls, first of all, we wouldn't even be in this position in the first place. But if I took over today, I would have to trade Dak. Mike McCarthy would have been fired.
You can't trade Dak. Dak's contract's not tradable.
Yeah, no one's taking that money. That's 60 guaranteed. Ain't nobody touching that.
Well, touching that, Steve.
Well, there are teams that would love to have Dak at quarterback.
Of course they will. Well, Steve, but no one's taking on
the
contract.
the player, but the money.
I think there's some teams that will do it.
Okay.
There's some teams that will do it.
I'm trying.
Well, first of all, I would make that deal in the first place. Number one.
Facts.
So, well, let's leave Dak out of it. Receiver or D line, Mike McCarthy's gone, and I really see Bill Belichick. If we don't have him next year, it's because Bill doesn't want to go there.
I don't know if I want Bill Belichick, man. It's not so much of him. I'm just afraid of who he's going to hire.
I'm not saying I want him. I'm saying what I think is really going to happen.
Yeah, and it would not surprise me one bit if we hire Bill Belichick.
And Jerry going to give him full autonomy? Because that's the only way Bill taking that job.
That's what I'm saying. And I think he would. That would okay. I really think he would.
I think he would too.
Yeah, there are a lot of insiders saying that's a real thing that could happen. And knowing how Jerry likes making big splashes, Belichick's resume, that's some Jerry shit to do. Sorry, Jerry stuff to do, but it can happen.
He ain't lying. He ain't lying when he said that.
Talk, see.
He ain't lying when he said that. Shoot. He ain't lying.
Get it, Jerry. Quit it, Jerry.
So we'll see, man. We'll see.
Jerry, see, I don't know, man. I don't know. So, for someone who hasn't not even the NFC Championship game in a long time, man, and you're getting older and you want another Super Bowl ring, you're doing stuff wrong. You're doing everything wrong. You traded that 4th-round pick for Jonathan Mingo for what reason?
That made no sense.
That for what reason?
That made very, very little sense.
That made 0% sense whatsoever.
Yeah. I still can't wrap my head around.
I can't wrap my head around it either. I said
your
that's
team,
the 4th-round pick that we need because shoot, we want to draft 3 defensive linemen in this draft.
Yeah, and the thing is like, a lot of people say, well, we're not good because we're hurt. And it's like, no, when the team was healthy, it was still bad at the beginning of the season. The injuries just added injury to insult, pardon the
Yeah,
pun, you know. So, like, why are you being buyers at the trade deadline and not
Yeah,
so much that, but buying on something like you traded a fourth rounder for a guy that wasn't even active this Sunday?
exactly.
Like, what are you doing? Like that, nothing screams senility like that, like a move like that, a move like that. Like and I mean, I just it doesn't make sense.
it
And
doesn't
there's
make sense
so
to
many
me
head
either.
scratching, there's just so many head scratching things about uh the things that they're doing in Dallas. And I think it's like a lot of people have said, it's a culture thing. And the root of that is Jerry Jones.
Zeke should have been cut by now after what happened last week.
And the sad part is Mike McCarthy, his influence in these changes. Who's the head coach in Washington?
Dan
Quinn,
Quinn,
Where was he at last year?
Dallas,
Dallas.
Who's the OC in Philly?
Kellen Moore,
Where's he at this year?
Philly,
Yep.
I'm sorry. Where was he at last year or 2 years ago? Sorry.
Dallas.
Dallas.
And so when Mike McCarthy was saying that these guys were a problem, everyone's doing better than him right now.
Yep.
Mm,
And they'll have a job next year. Both of them will.
this is true.
That's Jerry Jones messing up yet again, getting rid of the wrong guy.
Yeah. It's and I mean the writing's on the wall. If you really look at it, it's like, I mean, what else can you, I don't know any other way to put it, to where, it's like you could try to point to other issues that are going on, but it's really it's a cultural thing that has been established by Jerry Jones. And until something drastically changes, like Jerry Jones firing himself, which he doesn't have the ego to do. I mean, he has too much ego to do, excuse me. You're gonna get the same thing. It's like, it says you're doing the same thing, expecting different results is lunacy. That's kind of what it is, But
Yeah.
you got players throwing the coach under the bus. As bad as he is, you got players publicly throwing the coach under the bus. He's got a podcast, and he really should not have one as young as he is, because he's still, I'm talking about Michael Parsons.
He should have one, period.
Right. He shouldn't have one because he still does not have a filter between the brain and the mouth. You don't say everything that you think. I think somebody said on Fox Sports was like, he could have a podcast, but he needs to talk about everything except NFL football on that podcast. And it was like, yeah, that I'm in agree with that. I feel like current players, and this is not just me picking on Michael Parsons. I'm being serious. Current players should not be having a podcast. You need to be focusing on rehabbing. You need to be focused because you were injured. You need to be focused on your game plan for next week, for the next game, not what you gonna say on your podcast. Don't none of us in here play NFL football. Okay, not the four of us on here right now. Don't none of us play NFL football. You know what ladies and gentlemen, what we finna do when we sign off? We going to bed because we gotta go to work.
And go to work tomorrow.
We gotta go to work tomorrow. We're going to bed.
It's a culture thing, man. You have players, fighting with the media. You have players getting in trouble. It's a cultural thing, man. And I would say that this is Mike McCarthy's last time being a head coach in the NFL. I truly believe that.
Well,
I truly believe that.
Well,
some idiot is gonna give him a coordinator position. Somebody stupid.
Oh, I mean, yeah, that's fine. I'm saying head coach. Like Jerry Jones, him choosing to not be on the sideline anymore. I wish he did it so much earlier than 2 years ago, because he's off the sideline. He just still has he has the wrong guy on the sideline in Mike McCarthy. So this is his last head coaching stop. Mark my words.
Well, it's hard for a head coach to get a third head coaching job. It's only been a few I've had 3 head coaching jobs or more. I've always said that. That is very difficult to get. Very difficult.
Yes, sir.
But anyway, um, as as long as Dallas keep doing what they're doing this season, they will always continue to be
Trash, 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 trash. I am trash.
Okay, so moving on. Let's talk about how the use of the occult and black magic has made the Chiefs be able to be undefeated this year.
Man, I just don't understand. The whole season I was saying, oh well, they just find a way to win. They find a way to win. And
I
then
promise
Sunday come and I'm just like,
they
nah, they
sacrificing
sacrificed the
goats.
lamb. Yeah.
They sacrificing goats or something, virgins. They doing something because no. Pat Mahomes is having the worst statistical season of his career.
Yeah, there's no reason. Sunday should have never happened the way that happened. It should have never happened the way that happened. They had no business. No business winning that game
Somebody,
like that.
somebody made a deal with Beelzebub or something to I don't know. I don't know. And y'all, I'm saying this jokingly. I'm just saying that we joking about this. Okay. These are jokes. But yeah, I just don't like. First of all, I picked the Chiefs to win that game anyway because, even though the Broncos are surprisingly better, and we'll get to that a little bit later, the
Yep.
Broncos are really quietly a very good team this year.
Yep.
they are 5. Aren't they 5-5 or something like that?
No, sir. They are like
No.
6-2 or something like that.
You said what? What?
They firmly have a grip on the second place in the West, in the AFC West. They're playing some very good football. Winning games. Yeah.
Let's see what their record is.
But that's besides the point. We're getting off topic. But
No, go ahead.
the fact that the Broncos played a very, very good, almost mistake-free game against the Chiefs and almost won that game had it not been for a blocked field goal.
They should have won that. They should have won that game.
They should have easily won that game. And I'm gonna say this: if they go to Denver, the Chiefs, if they do, there's a chance the Broncos could beat them.
Defense is underrated. I said that last week.
They're very underrated. Nobody's paying attention to
Well,
the
I knew
Broncos.
the Broncos gonna be underrated this year anyway. I
I didn't have them there. I didn't have them.
Nah, I ain't having that because I ain't believing Bo Nix. I ain't
Not-
believing Bo Nix.
I
Not
believe in
this
Sean Payton though.
Not this year.
I ain't believing Sean Payton after that fiasco last year.
The fiasco didn't bother me.
Yeah, for me, it wasn't this year. If it was, fall 2025-26 season, you tell me the Broncos have the record that they have right now, I say, okay, yeah. But not in 2024. No. I wasn't prepared for that. But it's really not to talk about the Broncos. We're really talking about the Chiefs. Fellas, I'm gonna throw the question up here and I'm gonna let y'all say y'all 2 cents on it. Do you think with them sacrificing lambs and virgins to volcanoes and Taylor Swift doing her I Dream of Genie stuff in the press box, do you think that the Kansas City Chiefs have a chance to go undefeated this season?
I don't. They're we all vote for them to be the best technically, but I don't think they're that good to not lose a game. I don't see them going undefeated, to be completely honest.
And I want to apologize. Brandon was correct. The Broncos are 5-5. And they're in 3rd place in the division, but they're right on the heels of the Chargers.
Yes, because the Chargers are 6-3. Now, listen, I get it with everything that's going on with Kansas City, but it's difficult to go undefeated just in the regular season. Regular season alone, we've only had 2 teams in NFL history go undefeated, and that was the 72 Dolphins who ended up winning the Super Bowl and then New England, who ended up losing Super Bowl to the New York Giants, the 2007 regular season. Like that's difficult, man. That is hard. I think Kansas City have at least because I've seen the schedule. I think they have at least 5 games where they can lose. They can lose at least one or two of those, maybe even 3 of them. So, um, yeah, I'm not ready. I'm not ready to crown them undefeated yet. You know, you gotta. Well, you still got to earn that, man. Like that's one of the hardest things. Like one year the Colts were 13-0, and people thought they were gonna go undefeated until I forgot who they lost to, but yeah, that's
Well,
hard,
I think Dungy sat them.
huh?
I think Dungy had sat his starters instead of going for the record.
You probably did. I forgot what happened though.
But I think they I don't think they're gonna be undefeated. They got to see the Bills this week. I think the Bills could beat them. I think the Chargers could beat them. If
Yeah,
they can get
that's
past the Bills and the Chargers, then now we're having an interesting conversation because your only obstacle now after that is the Raiders and the Panthers and the Broncos again, I think.
yeah,
So now
yeah. They
you're
play
having
the
a different
Broncos one more
conversation.
time.
So the Bills, I think they're either going to lose to both the Bills and the Chargers or lose to at least one of them. And if they don't, then now we're going to have an interesting conversation.
Right.
Where does the officiating come into play?
You know
4 weeks
what?
ago,
Officiating, man. I don't get it, man. I don't get it.
4 weeks ago against the Buccaneers,
You said it, I didn't. Go on.
it was egregious.
Yeah. So they like it's like they're you know how you say some teams just can't get right in their snake bit? They're like the antithesis of snake bit.
Yeah, whatever that is, shoot.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we've been saying it all season long in here, man. The officiating this year has been terrible. And listen,
Terrible.
I'm never one. This could be a segue. I'm never one to defend the Washington football team Commanders that are the Redskins as well. But the officiating and the spotting, man, in that game on
Lost
Sunday
us the
was
game.
ridiculous. I was like,
We get that spot, we win that game.
listen, I don't like unfair football no matter who it is, but I was like, this ain't right, man. This ain't right.
Yeah. It's the officiating. I'm gonna say this. It's not just the NFL, but the officiating from and Brandon knows where I'm going with this. From the NFL all the way down to high school football, the officiating this year has been god awful. It has been bad. It's like literally, it's literally like Ray Charles at a gun range.
I don't know what it's going to take, but they really need to make referees full time in the league. You gotta make them full time. You need people that are dedicated
It ain't like you hurting for
to
money.
watching yourself. Exactly.
It ain't like the NFL's
You
hurting for money.
you have to have a crew that is dedicated to solely watching the rules and policies of the football game. Like you have to. You
Absolutely.
have to. And I really thought they would. I really thought that really would have been a push after I'll never forget the NFC championship game. I believe it was the NFC. I believe it was the championship game. It was the championship game or division round between the Rams and
And
the Saints.
my God,
That pass interference, I'll never. It was heartbreaking. It was just like, bro, what are you talking about, bro?
egregious.
What do you mean? What do you mean that's not a defensive pass interference? What are you talking about? What the dude decapitated boy, but the ball didn't even get there yet, bro. Like it didn't even descend from the sky yet before he got hit. I just don't understand. I don't understand how that wasn't called a defensive pass interference. I'll never forget that for as long as I live. And because of that, my bad, Titus. I just brought up a bad memory for Titus. The because of that, I thought that would have been a time like, okay, we really got to do something about officiating,
And
and they
nothing
have not.
and nothing happened. Yeah. Yeah. And the thing is you know, I've watched plays I can watch a game with two teams I have no dog in the fight for. I could care less who wins that game. I'm just watching the game, and I find myself throwing stuff across the room because of bad calls or no calls in games. And they're like, "Are you serious right now?" You know, it's like officiating is at an all time low.
My
But
thing is,
you know. Oh, go ahead, Brandon.
I'm sorry, to cut you off. E. I understand that referees should be protected when players go after them, but I think when referees make so many mistakes, they should be penalized some way
They
somehow.
should be
I
penalized.
don't know what that is.
Hit their pockets.
The fine.
So
I,
Fine them.
the NBA actually does that.
oh, the NBA does that.
Yep. Yep.
I'm
Yeah.
surprised the NFL doesn't do that.
Well, here's my theory, man. Sports betting. Sports betting, man. At an all-time high. I believe they're involved.
Man.
You know,
Man.
I was watching the broadcast. I can't remember which game, and it was a flag or something, or it should have been a flag. And I think the receiver was arguing with the ref or something. And the commentator said something that stuck out. He said, yeah, you know, the ref's not going to call that more than 4 times a game. I'm like, well, why wouldn't he if it's a penalty?
Hey, listen, let me tell you something.
The commentator, I think it was like
No.
Romo,
Hey,
somebody
Steve,
said, I'm like,
Steve, Steve, I coach defensive line, and my defensive lineman come to me, Coach Williams, they holding. I said, listen, man, let me tell y'all something. 95% of these holding calls are not going to get called.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to get called. But it's not going to get called, man. I hate to tell you that. When somebody holds you, it's not going to get called. Just keep trying to get after the quarterback. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you, man.
Now remember, the old saying was they're going to call it every time. I think we all know that saying, right?
Yeah, but
every time. That was the old saying.
That's the old saying, but they been cut that stuff out a long time ago. Like I said, you don't worry about getting called for. Just try your best, man. Get through the block or the hold, and just get to the quarterback, man.
Yeah, it's. I mean, what can you say?
And that's why I don't get mad at. I used to get mad. I still get mad in the NBA, but I don't get mad in NFL when players flop and do stuff because these refs are not calling a lot of stuff, man. Some of these teams out here go through the games with like no penalties, like 1 or 2. I'm like, yo, football is not. No team is that clean, man. No team plays that clean
at all.
You know, so yeah.
Yeah, it's a real issue. Now I'll tell you one game that we could talk about that the officiating wasn't too bad on, but the quarterback play was, and that was the Lions versus the Texans. That happened on Sunday night. Jared Goff who at one point was like I think top 3 in passing efficiency before this game in the league, threw 5 interceptions. 5
on it,
and somehow, some way, the Lions managed to pull this game out. Now, I'm not. We don't have to spend that much time on it, but let's because we would say one more topic before we get into our top 5 teams. But was this game, the result of this game, the end, a testament to how resilient the Lions are, or the complete, or the how unfocused the Houston Texans were?
Nah, this is the Lions. This is showing the resilience and a testament to Dan Campbell's DNA all through the Lions organization. Because when you look at the Texans watching the game, they blew the lead and all that stuff. I get all that, but at the same token, the Texans are not. They're not a team when you look at them as a unorganized, dysfunctional franchise. You look at them and they're properly run. The only flaw really with the Texans is the offensive line, and I'm sure they're going to address that. But other than that, they're a well-oiled machine. You just really saw the will of the Lions come through, where it's just like, nah, we're not losing this game. Yeah, we know Jared Goff threw 5 interceptions. We get all that. but we're not losing this game. And when you think about it, when they went into halftime, when you saw the score, I mean, it wasn't just the fact that he threw the 5 interceptions, but he was just struggling it all around.
Yes.
And then to look at the score at halftime, you had to think like, hey guys, we could be real bad right now. We could be down real bad right now. And the fact that they weren't, I think they had the mindset of like, look, man, we just got to take a. And he always says it in his interview: one play at a time, one series at a time, and let's just see what happens when 000 is on the clock. And that's what happened, man. It's more of a testament to the Lions than the Texans because I still think the Texans are a good team.
And you said, that comes from Dan Campbell, man. Dan Campbell, I'm gonna keep saying this, has been around great coaching, man. He's been around the Sean Paytons and the Bill Parcells in his career, whether it's as a player or a coach. And um, I'm sure he learned a lot being around those two. And so he's able to display how to be an NFL head coach, um, and be a successful one on this level.
Yeah. I think, and I can expound on it more when we do our top five, but the Lions, they're just really good, man. The Texans are good too, but the Lions are just,
They're on
I
another
think
level.
they're on that next
Yeah,
level.
yeah. They are that much better.
They're on that next level, man. They're on the next level. I just not much more to say about it. They're on that next level, man. He has that locker room in check. The coordinators are elite. Good, I mean, solid coaching. They're every facet of football, the three phases: offense, defense, special teams. They're clicking on all cylinders, man. I can't say much more else about it.
Yeah. I just typically I'm really trying to remember the last time I saw a game where a team turned the ball over 5 times and still won. I'm really searching my memory for it. And I promise I cannot remember the last time I saw something like that happen.
We,
Uh,
if we had the research ability like ESPN does, shoot.
yeah,
But
I just I don't think it was in our lifetimes, honestly.
you might be right.
I really don't. I could be wrong, but I don't think it was in our lifetimes. It's like you turn the ball over 5 times, you're going to lose a game. Typically, if you turn the ball over 3 times, you're going
I
to
was
lose.
just going to say that.
But they threw 2 more on top to boot and say, "Hey, we finna, So yeah, it's wow, you know. So the Bears fired their offensive coordinator after the woes of the offense. Caleb Williams is not producing like a first round draft pick. A lot of people believe. Before we're gonna briefly touch on that for a moment. What are your thoughts on that, gentlemen? I'm gonna let Tristan go first because he's our resident quarterback guru.
Here we go.
You broke up. You broke up a little bit on mine. Ask that question one more time.
The Chicago Bears have fired the offensive coordinator in lieu
Oh, let
of
me get started. Say no
yeah.
more. You just had to say Chicago Bears.
Okay,
Let me go ahead and get myself together.
and go.
All right. Now, I actually meant to tell y'all this in our Marco Polo chat earlier today. I actually spent on my way home from work on the train, which takes about roughly 15 20 minutes. I spent 15 to 20 minutes on watching different clips of people saying all week of what the Bears are doing wrong, what the Bears should do with Caleb Williams, what Caleb Williams doing wrong. And I just sat there with a smile on my face. Why? Because I said this from April. I said, if you're going to draft Caleb Williams, number 1 overall, you need to fire Matt Eberflus.
Mm-hmm.
He needs to go. You cannot do that to this boy and bring him in. And I even remember when people were saying, well, don't you want Caleb Williams over Jaden Daniels? And I remember Steve was like, no, because and Steve's reason was correct because of the fact of having hometown people come back to where they're from and represent their franchise. Too much pressure, too many distractions. But also, when I looked at Caleb Williams, yes, does he have a lot of gifts? Absolutely. But if for someone to be my favorite phrase, generational talent, for someone to be a generational talent, you could not bring up your USC Trojans to prominence. You won the Heisman there, fantastic. You had some very good splash plays, fantastic. You won some games, fantastic. But you never made USC a contender. You never made a contender. And if you are at the quarterback position, you have the control to make that team a contender, i.e., Cam Newton with the Auburn Tigers, i.e. Vince Young with the Texas
Texas
Longhorns.
Longhorns,
These
yes.
are players when you they make at that position, you can define what your team's gonna be. Andrew Luck at Stanford,
Yep.
you can make or break your season with your team because of that quarterback, of how dominant he is when you put generational talent on that player. Okay. So Jaden Daniels coming into the draft was the more pro ready quarterback. And I said Washington needs someone that's ready to play right now. The
Mm-hmm.
fans don't
Yep.
have the patience to say, oh, let this guy develop. Let's take no, we're not there. New regime, new ownership, new GM. We need someone that comes in and shows us right now what this is looking like for the new tenure. And that's what Jaden Daniels has been doing. Chicago, what they did was let's put these receivers around, let's put this running back, we got the tight end. So we got Swift, we got Keenan Allen, we got a Doomsday, we got Komet. Did not address the offensive line. You got this defense. But what happened was is that you ended up saying, okay, we're gonna plug in Caleb. And once we plug in Caleb, we're going to be good to go. What Caleb Williams is doing is everything that he did at USC. The rolling around, holding the football. The only difference between now and then is the fact that, hey, Caleb, all these guys are just as athletic as you are, if not probably more. They're just as fast as you are, if not probably more. They're stronger than you. So you can't do what you were doing against that Pac 12 defenses, just like Steve had said it last year. What he was doing in the Pac 12 is different than what it looks like here in the NFL. And he's getting a rude awakening. And what's really failing him on that aspect is that he doesn't have a single person on that staff that can channel him and say, hey,
Mm-hmm.
let's figure out how to give him some easy windows, some easy throws here and there to just help him get into a groove. They're basically sending him out there and saying, hey, this is baptism by fire until you figure it out. But the problem is with quarterbacks that are like that, that are so gifted and have been good all their life, when they reach this kind of tribulation like that, they can't recover. Most of the time they don't, i.e., David Carr. When he went to the Texans when they were their first expansion team, had a rough time and then ended up being labeled a bust. It wasn't a bust that he because he sucked. It was a bust because the team didn't put anything around him to help him have the confidence to develop and be who he's supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing what happened with Alex Smith and the 49ers until thank God Jim Harbaugh came around. It was same thing. It wasn't that he sucked. You just didn't put a system that made him operate. You basically try to put a circle cylinder into a square peg hole, and that did not work out. It's what they're doing in Chicago. They basically said, here's the key. The rumor was that they gave him a playbook from freaking January. So you already made up in your mind that you were taking Caleb Williams number one, but didn't think to say, hey, let's implement some of the stuff we did in school with this pro style so that he can have an easy transition in. And then you're watching it now. At this point, I'm just like, you might as well bench him just to save himself because there's nothing going to get better from this. There's
Yeah.
nothing going to get better. And you did this as an ownership. That's why the whole Chicago organization. First of all, y'all have an organization that has not have a 4,000 yard passer in your entire existence as an organization. You haven't had one. Didn't come from McMahon. Didn't come from Sexy Rexy. Nobody has
No.
thrown for 4,000 yards in your entire existence as an organization. You're one of the founding franchises, and you've never had
That's
that
terrible.
kind of player at the quarterback position. That is an embarrassment.
That is
Second of
terrible.
all, you went and drafted Mitchell Trubisky. You had a coach, you paired him with John Fox as the coach. You fired John Fox. You came and brought in Matt Nagy. That didn't work out with Mitchell Trubisky. You shipped him out, brought in Justin Fields with Matt Nagy. Did not work out. Brought in Matt Eberflus for Justin Fields. Still hasn't worked out. Shipped off Justin Fields, and now you're about to bring in freaking you brought in Caleb Williams, and it's not working out. So what you gonna do? because everybody knows Matt Rufus is going to get fired. So now you're going to bring another coach in here, and you're going to pray that it works out for Caleb Williams. And then God forbid that you have enough intelligence to find someone that is a quarterback whisperer, i.e., Cliff Kingsbury, who you spent 8 hours interviewing and didn't even give him the job. The guy that coached the very quarterback that you got right now, and you didn't give him a job. But thank you, because it works out for my team.
Yeah.
You are incompetent franchise that ruins QBs. You put QBs out to pasture.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
It's
Same.
unbelievable. So I'm not going to put the whole thing on Caleb
Mm,
Williams. I'm
mm.
not going to be like some of those crazy Chicago Bears fans that's calling him a bust. He is a victim of his environment, and there is nothing he can do right now except pray that they bench him so that he can mentally recover from the dysfunction. Oh, not even that. Let's look at the quarterback room. Did you bring in a veteran QB to probably mentor this young man? No. His backup QB is a second year player. You didn't even bother to bring in a vet to mentor him.
Man.
They deserve everything they're getting right now. Everything that's happening to them, they deserve it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's man. Tristan, you
I'm,
went scorched earth. My goodness.
hey,
Um.
hey, I'm going after Steve. Go ahead, Steve.
Nah, man. You guys know my theory with defensive-minded head coaches. How you got to bring in the veteran right away to give you the best chance. Tristan just said it. He just said everything. Like, I can't even blame Caleb, man. These are kids, man. These are young guys that need guidance, no matter how good they were in college. These are 22, 23-year-old guys, man, that need good coaches, real coaches. Shane Waldron, man, the offense he came from in Seattle for such a long time is not going to work. It's not going to work, man. You know, the reason why Jaden Daniels has so much success in Washington is because he's not asked to do too much. And I feel like Caleb feels like he has to do too much, which is where the mistakes come. I think he's actually more gifted than I thought he was watching him play, but he just has the wrong coaches and the wrong, really just wrong coaches around him. He has players. He has a great defense. We speak about it. Championship caliber defense. He has that. He has receivers, tight. He has weapons. It's just, man, the offense, man, and that's been Chicago's issues for a long time. The last time the offense was somewhat okay was that 1 year that Nagy was calling plays. Yeah. Yeah. But other than that, man, like Tristan said, like no quarterback has ever done well in Chicago, man. I don't know what it is. Maybe their ownership is more involved than we think they are.
I have nothing. I think Tristan said everything that pretty much, because I was like, okay, Brandon.
Well, let me add on to this. First of all, Shane Waldron, the offense should not be bad because he was around Sean McVay. Okay, he was with Sean McVay from 17 through 20. Okay, whether it was tight ends coach or passing game coordinator. And one of those years he was a quarterbacks coach as well. So this guy, and not just him, but overall, and I said in the group chat earlier, I was at work, so I couldn't really say too much. But I've said earlier, there's a lot of quarterback malpractice going on in the NFL. And what? No, I'm serious because it is. There's a lot of quarterback malpractice going on in the NFL, man. These people.
I know. I'm just laughing at your choice of word.
Don't get me started with that. I
say?
can do a whole special on quarterback malpractice.
No, but think about it. Like teams are just they overdrafting quarterbacks. Okay.
True.
2, they expecting quarterbacks to be Superman by the time they draft them. It's like, okay, we're going to bring you in and come save us. And it's like, no. But these guys at 20, like you said, they're 22 years old. They can't save nobody. They don't know what to do.
Question.
And I've said this on here before, and I'm going to say it again. Matt Hasselbeck said when he was a rookie in Green Bay, his quarterback room was fantastic. He had a future Hall of Famer as a starter. Doug Peterson was a smart quarterback. Okay, not saying he was fantastic or anything, but he was a smart quarterback. So he knew You know, he knew what to do. Yeah, Mike Holmgren as the head coach, and yeah, Andy Reid as the quarterback's coach. That's a good quarterback room. Okay, and like you said, Tristan, there was no veteran put around him. Jaden Daniels has Marcus Mariota around him, who's a former first round pick himself. Okay, when Lamar Jackson was a rookie, RG3 ain't the best quarterback, but hey, he's a veteran, a former first round pick. He
with a
knows
similar skill set.
right, similar exactly. That's another thing too. Similar skill set. That helps. That
Man,
helps.
but
Now, and granted, even though this was a different skill set, it's still a veteran around him. When Lamar Jackson also had Joe Flacco with him as well at one point. So all I'm saying is you gotta build around your quarterback, and also not just ask these guys to be superheroes, but you gotta have a plan. You gotta have a plan. Just because these guys get to NFL doesn't mean you stop developing them. You gotta continue to develop these guys, even to year 5 and year 7 of their careers.
listen, forget quarterback malpractice. We're talking about coaching. He should have never got the job in the first place. When you mention him being up on the Shaman thing, that means nothing. He was in LA. He was in LA.
I understand that, but
They could go
because
40 times a game.
but Steve, you know how easy it is to get a head coaching job just because you was around said coach. You gotta remember this Shanahan offense has blown up across the league, left and right. Everybody wants a piece of the pie, and so because of that, he's an offensive. He was an offensive coordinator. He was an offensive coordinator in Seattle for a couple of years, from 21 to 23, and he was OC this year. So in Chicago. So, like I said, everybody wants a piece of that Shanahan pie.
Yeah, but you said he shouldn't struggle because he was up under Sean McVay. I'm just saying him being up under Sean McVay is not, that doesn't mean, Sean McVay's offense is hit and miss. And again, with the Rams, and again, he followed Sean McVay from Washington. And when Sean McVay was there, that offense wasn't particularly spectacular consistently. He followed him to LA. He's in Seattle last year. I mean, these are not like high flying offenses. Like
I understand that, but it's the McVay Shanahan offense. Everybody wants a piece of the pie. The thing has spread like wildfire. Regardless of, I hear what you're saying, Steve. I'm not going against you. I'm telling you what's going on around the league. I can name 10 teams off the top of my head that is running some variation of that offense. Okay. It has spread like wildfire.
No, I got you. I'm saying he shouldn't have got the job in the first place because in my opinion, you don't hire. In my opinion, you hire someone that's more used to grooming and training.
Oh, I agree.
Young quarterbacks.
I agree, but right now,
in Seattle,
right now, teams are taking playbooks over. Hey, let's have a hold on. Everybody's taking playbooks over. Let's have a look at Shane Steichen down in over in Indianapolis. They going back and forth between the two quarterbacks. They don't know what they want to do.
Exactly.
That flip-flopping there is a whole nother topic. But I know this is a really thrilling conversation, but we need to move on, gentlemen.
Yeah, I know.
I do a quarterback special.
Yeah, we had to do a whole, that would be an entire show to talk about the state of quarterbacks and coaches in the NFL. So let's get to our top 5. Last week we did our top 10 because it was week 10. We only do that once a year. We're back to the top 5. Cannot remember who went first last week. I think it was Tristan. We read his, and I cannot find my pen. Okay, but I think Tristan went first. Brandon, we're gonna let you go first. You're number 5 for going into week 11. Number 5.
Man, this is difficult, man. This is getting more and more difficult.
It was very easy for me. Do you want us to come back to you?
No, right now I'm gonna say this might be a shocker. I'm gonna say Pittsburgh.
Okay.
Um, Mike Tomlin is a hell of a head coach, man. Mike Tomlin is a hell of a head coach. I forgot where I had Pittsburgh ranked. When we covered the AFC North during the offseason. But Mike Tomlin has had winning seasons, not just with Big Ben, but with Kenny Pickett and whoever else was rotating with Kenny Pickett as starting quarterback. Now he has been through Justin Fields and Russell Wilson, and um, they have a good offense, and they just added Mike Williams to help out with that. They have a good defense, and they just added Preston Smith to help out with that. Once those guys get um, used to the playbooks on the respective sides of the football, that's a team that is, I'm not gonna say flying under the radar, but it's probably still not getting enough attention. Like, I know I get it. Kansas City's undefeated. You got Houston, you got Baltimore. That's three. But when you play a team like Pittsburgh, they're going to affect your seeding in the AFC the rest of the season. And they could really fight Baltimore for that division title.
And they play Baltimore this week.
Okay. Where's
Oh,
that?
I believe it's in Pittsburgh, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, it's in Pittsburgh.
Okay.
So I too took the Steelers as my number 5 team for a lot of the same reasons, but also I'm not gonna comment too much on Russell Wilson because every time I comment on Russell Wilson, he proves me wrong. If I give him too much praise, he completely craps the bed. If I give him if I'm too down on him, that's when he balls out. So I'm gonna leave it alone. But he has a lot to do with why they actually have a balanced attack now, not just a running game and a quarterback that don't, know his ear hole in his helmet from a hole in the ground. I'm trying to keep it PG. But I have the Steelers too at number 5. Tristan.
I bad. I had to get my mic together. I'm going with the Steelers as well. Just seeing how their performance was this past weekend. I forgot the defensive player that went down, but Preston Smith, came right in,
Highsmith.
contributed. Highsmith went down. Preston Smith came in, contributed. Mike Williams contributed as well, and I felt like those were two really sneaky good moves for the Steelers. They got a two-headed monster at the running back position. Um, their tight end is good. Pickens is good. I think Mike Williams will complement as he gets more comfortable in the offense. And again, Russell Wilson has one of the best moon balls in the history of the NFL. I mean, he's one of the best deep throwers I've ever seen. And you get a guy that could push the ball down the field like that with those weapons and being able to balance out with the run game. And you already know their defense is formidable with TJ Watt and them boys. Yeah, man, you got to put them in top 5. I mean, in the beginning of the season we weren't sure, but now they're really making a head of steam right now.
All right, Steve.
I got Washington in top 5. I don't have Steelers in my top 5. I need to see more from the receivers, and I put Washington. Even though Washington just lost it, and they should have won the game. Number 1, number 2, they get Robinson back. He's a big part of their offense.
Yes.
It'd have been a whole different story if he played.
Yes.
I think they're an overall better team than the Steelers. So they're my top 5 right now.
Okay. For my number 4 team, I have the Buffalo Bills. Again. Oh, I'm sorry. I went 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 1, like that.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm 2. I have the Buffalo Bills number 4 for the same reasons I had last week. We were talking about basically talking about the balance that's happening with that offense, and the defense is quietly playing some really good football. They're not world beating defense, 2000 Ravens defense, but they're getting the job done. And they're playing a lot of ball control on offense. They're playing complementary football. It's no longer just Josh Allen and Devil May Care. They're mixing in the run. The passes are becoming more efficient because other opposing defenses have to worry about the run game more than they did before. And that's why I have them as my number 14. Tristan.
Well, this one's going to be a bit of a shocker, but honestly, I have the Eagles at 4.
Okay.
And the reason why is because I feel like the roster is getting more and more healthy. Um, I think Saquon Barkley, I'm trying to remember the last time that I've seen a piece elevate a, a unit, whether it be offense or defense, quite the way Saquon's doing. I guess you could say Derrick Henry, in a sense, is doing it for the Ravens as well. But having him is just such a key weapon for that offense to make it go. And again, they get AJ Brown getting healthy, so you get your receiving core back in it with Saquon. Jalen Hurts has been playing more under control, less mistakes. Um, and the defense is getting better, is getting a little more opportunistic. So I think going down the stretch, I think they'd be okay.
Okay, Steve, number 4.
I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna have to go Houston. Now, going back to 5, if Philly wins this week, they'll jump Washington in my book. Just caveat. But I'm gonna go Houston, man. I think they're losing games they should not be losing. I think they're still top 5. I think they're still one of the best teams in the AFC, regardless of their record. So I still have faith in Houston. So they're number 4 for me.
Okay. Brandon, number 4.
Buffalo, man. They won without Keon Coleman and Amari Cooper at wide receiver, man. That's something to say.
That was impressive. Yes, that's impressive.
Something to say, man. Josh Allen, like you said, don't have him. That's one of those things that you sit there and say, stop having your quarterback try to be Superman. He doesn't.
You got other weapons. Yes.
Right. You don't have to be Superman for 40 to 45 plays a game, man. Run the ball. Get the football to your weapons. Now, when you do need to be Superman, fine, go for it. But it don't have to be every single game. And that's another way how you get your quarterbacks killed too, is by sitting there and keep asking them to be Superman. That's why Andrew Luck, unfortunately. But hopefully, with Josh Allen, things will go. Things will be better for him. Now I don't know what's happening in the playoffs, but right now things are looking good for him.
Okay, number 3, Tristan.
Number 3. Make sure I got my stuff correct. Number 3, I'm going with the Ravens. Going with the Ravens. Again, Lamar Jackson is probably going to win his 3rd MVP. Derrick Henry. I forgot that he's 30, and this is supposed to be the over the hill number. And shoot, he can flirt around and go for almost 2,000 yards again.
Yes.
Now the defense is still left to be desired. It's still left to be desired. Again, like I said last week, I don't know how effective Travarius White will be with them. Also, when they play the Steelers, that will tell me a whole lot as well, because the defense of the Steelers is way better than the Ravens defense. And so if Steelers can put up points against the Ravens, that'll be something. But until that game happens, I'm going to put them at number 3 because of Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry.
All right, Steve.
Yeah, I don't trust the Ravens defense, man. I just don't. They lose to teams they should not be losing to in epic fashion. I'm picking the Bills at number 3.
Okay.
I like the Bills at number 3. Same reason you guys pointed out with your number 4 pick with the Bills. They're a good team. They're clicking. They've been beating pretty good teams. They dealt with injuries. And it was tough for me to put them there because I know come playoff time what they're going to do. I know what that coach is going to do come playoff time. I know how this is going to go. But right now, they're the third best team in the NFL, in my opinion. The record says it as well.
All right, Brandon.
All right, so I have Baltimore. Same reason I think it was Tristan that said it. It's Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry, man. That's almost like a cheat code, man. And you know, they have one of the best centers in the league. That also helps, man, because he's able to block a gap and also block, get up to the middle linebacker. So that's just making life so much easier for Derrick Henry to be able to run the football. Like if my two guards can handle those defensive tackles, and my center can get up to that Mike linebacker, man, you up to third level football, and you asking some of these safeties who just can't tackle worth a nickel to try to tackle Derrick Henry, or ask some corner to try to chase him down. I mean, yeah, you're gonna chase him down backside, but like trying to bring him down, that's difficult.
I can't believe you guys, man.
What?
They give up mad points to terrible teams.
Huh?
They give up a lot of points to horrible teams, man.
I know the defense is bad, man.
I'm gonna continue with this trend. My number 3 team is also the Ravens.
Oh my!
And here's the thing: when you have an offense as explosive with Lamar Jackson at quarterback and Derrick Henry in the backfield, it kind of counteracts the ineptitude of your pass defense to an extent. And I think that's why a lot of us have them there. We're gonna keep this thing moving. Steve, your number 2 team.
Detroit.
Okay.
Detroit. And I mean, I think we all know who number 1 is, in my opinion, but it's interchangeable. I kind of wanted to flip it this week.
It's a 1A and 1B, and
it's a 1A, 1B for me.
And so Brandon, number 2.
Man, actually, I'm actually dropping Kansas City down to number 2.
Okay. I was waiting for that to happen, and I understand why you're doing that.
Go ahead, Steve.
Go ahead, Steve. Go ahead.
No, I want to explain why it was 1A, 1B. And it's only because of coaching. I just trust Andy Reid a lot more than I trust Dan Campbell if there were like a Super Bowl situation with those two teams. That's the only reason.
And I'm not mad at you, Steve. I'm not. It's just that right now, and I know Detroit. I know it's a difference between being undefeated and 1 loss as well, but Detroit, man, they just something different this year, man. They are just something different. I know, and Kansas City defense has been fantastic. Spags is holding it down, but. Yeah, Detroit is just something different this year, man. I'm sorry, I dropped Kansas City down number 2.
So I have the Lions at number 2 because I still have to respect the record. But I agree with what you guys are saying. Right now, Kansas City is winning off of defense and luck. Honestly, their day is coming. You can kind of tell after watching these last few weeks that their day is coming. So Kansas City is going to eventually lose a game, and they're probably going to lose a game to a team that we won't expect them to lose to. It may not be Buffalo this week, which we're going to get into my picks in a minute. Tristan, who you have for number 2?
I think it's general consensus that it's Detroit. But I'm right with Steve. It's like 1A, 1B, and not really a number 2. But I don't even have to explain. It's all the same reasons.
Okay, so in the interest of time, I believe that I'm going to go out on a limb right here. I think Brandon has the Lions number 1. I have the Chiefs number
Correct.
1. Tristan has the Chiefs number 1, and Steve has the Chiefs number 1. Am I correct?
Correct.
That's correct.
Okay, so the only change up has been Brandon's moving the Chiefs down, which is not crazy.
I'm not even mad at it. Yeah, not even mad at that.
I'm not mad at that, and I understand why he said what he said. And I still have to respect the record. I don't like how they've been winning. They don't look as dominant, but I have to respect the fact that they're undefeated. Now,
Right,
some,
and
Record
I
and
get it.
pedigree.
Hey, listen, I'm not mad at that either. Okay,
yeah,
I'm not. It's just that Detroit, man.
It's the record and pedigree. That's the only reason why they're still
No,
number
I
one.
get. Hey,
that's it.
listen,
Mhm.
I get it 100%.
But
I get it 100%.
the moment that KC loses and Detroit keeps winning,
It's automatic.
it's automatic.
It's
Detroit is
automatic.
playing,
He gonna drop it. That's like number 7.
like, yeah.
But
The
what we
moment,
have to remember, though, well, I have to remember what makes this scary is the fact that Kansas City's defense has been playing some of the best ball they've played
yes,
since
they have.
in the Pat Mahomes era, and Pat Mahomes is getting some of his toys back on the offense side of the ball, which is going to make them
Pacheco
more
will be back in a
dangerous.
Woo!
couple of weeks. We're looking at possibly getting not Rashee Rice,
Hollywood.
Hollywood Brown back. So yeah, we're gonna see. But I feel like they're going to lose to a team they shouldn't sometime this year.
And
Just
and,
mark,
and, and
mark
that's
my
why I
words.
said. That's
I
why.
think it's the
That's why.
Chargers.
That's why I said earlier. I said it's just so difficult to go undefeated, man. Like that's one of the hardest things in the world to do in the NFL is to go undefeated, even just the regular season alone.
Especially when the checks stop clearing for the referees.
And,
Okay, let's move on. Um,
Stupid.
let's go to Pando's pick so we can get out. All right. So last week I was 10 and well, if you count the bye week beating the Raiders, yeah, I was 11-5. Because the bye week did beat the Raiders. But let's get to it. First game, Commanders at the Eagles. This is what I refer to as a pick'em game. This game could go either way. If you are planning on betting, I would not bet money on this game. Honestly, this is not a sure thing, but I do have the Eagles coming away with the win, playing in their home stadium.
This gonna be a close game.
It's going to be a close game. Nobody's running away with anything. Okay?
No, I feel like this might be 2 points on about 2-point game.
The Commanders defense has been improving over the last couple of weeks because that was a concern, and
Yep.
they're improving. And also, Brian Robinson coming back has a lot to do with that because I feel like you can run the ball on the Eagles. You can. So Austin Eckler and Brian Robinson, if the coaching is done correctly, yes, you could see an upset. That's why this is a pick'em game. But as of right now, I'm taking the points and I'm going with the Eagles. Next game, the Raiders at the Dolphins. If Tua Tagovailoa will stop trying to tackle people with his face, the best thing to do is not throw interceptions. But I still like the Miami Dolphins on this one. The Raiders are completely inept. I like Antonio Pierce, but he's probably going to be fired at the end of the year. They're going to let him finish, but he's probably going to lose his job at the end of the year.
Yep.
Moving forward, Browns at the Saints. This everybody's calling this the Jameis Winston revenge game. I like the Saints at home, but this is going to be a highly dysfunctional game. I really feel like we could be watching a multiple interception game, multiple turnover game from both teams. But I like the Saints at home by a very slim margin. Colts at the Jets. The Jets can't pull P out of boot without instructions.
No, the New York Aaron Rodgers
Aaron
football
Rodgers.
team.
The New York Aaron Rodgers football team, as Brandon so affectionately likes to call them, they're a shadow of their former selves. I don't really
Shadow of what?
of their former selves.
No, they have no form of nothing.
I gotta agree with Brandon on that.
And the reason why I said what I said about that is because at least when Robert Saleh was there, the defense was somewhat decent. That's why.
Okay, I will give you that.
And that's the reason. That's
But
why
when they brought in Aaron Rodgers, they were supposed to be something. And I know he got injured last year. I get that. When they brought him in, they were supposed to be something different.
I'm about to use the W word for Aaron Rodgers. I know it's blasphemy.
He is. But he is.
Use the W word. Y'all ready? He's washed.
Oh, yeah.
He's washed.
He's done.
He
needs to retire after this season. He may not.
Yeah, I feel so bad for Devontae Adams because he's stuck. He's gonna be stuck in purgatory again. quarterback purgatory.
But you know what though?
Again.
But you know he did it to himself
He
because
did it.
that's what
I was
he
about to
wanted.
say he did it to himself.
That's what you wanted. You wanted Derek Carr, and then you wanted Aaron Rodgers.
They traded Derek Carr, and now he was stuck with the Raiders. So he's like, "Get me out of here." Okay, well, go over here with Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers like, "Yeah, I'm finna get out of here. I'm stuck in New York." That movie gonna be called Escape from New York. Okay. Moving on. Anyway, I got the Colts over the Jets. Vikings at Titans. This might be a snot pounding, but Sam Darnold is starting to come back down to earth.
I knew he would eventually.
Yeah,
it was a matter of time.
It wasn't sustainable.
Yeah, he's turning back into a pumpkin.
Yeah.
But again, the Titans are so egregiously bad that it doesn't really matter, and I still like the Vikings to win this game. Packers at the Bears. This could be another snot pounding, honestly. This game, man, the Bears are a tomato can right now. They really are.
Green Bay's gonna dog walk them.
Yeah, and I think they're gonna do it in Soldier Field. I just don't see any kind of way. Go ahead and put your money on the Packers, guys. This is a money game. The next pick I have is the Stone Cold Lock of the Week. This one here is gonna be like watching baby seals getting clubbed.
Here we go. All right.
The Lions are at home against the Jacksonville Jaguars and Mac Jones starting. I don't think I need to say that.
Oh, God.
I don't think I need to say nothing else.
Listen, Jared Goff threw 5 interceptions. Jared Goff about to throw 25 touchdown passes.
He gonna redeem.
He's about to be surgical. Yeah, for sure.
My fantasy roster this week. I'm so grateful to have him this week.
You talking about a stat padding game?
This is a redemption arc for Jared Goff last week.
You gotta make Pro Bowl.
It really is not much of a redemption arc because guess what? He still won the game that he threw 5 interceptions in. So
he about to secure second team all pro with this game right here.
Facts.
Yeah, so that's your Stone Cold Lock of the Week. Put your money on it. The Lions are going to dog walk the Jaguars. Okay.
And I'm really considering about this quarterback special because I have some words about Trevor Lawrence.
I tell you what, do a TikTok video and just break it up into
no. This is what we need to do.
We do off season.
No, I was just going to say after the Super Bowl, at some point during the offseason, we need to have our own quarterback special. And that's what the show is going to be called, Quarterback Special. And we got to dedicate ourselves to it, even if we all got to do some kind of research on it.
Okay.
And go in depth. I'm serious.
No,
we do a show called Quarterback
I'm
Special.
with that. I'm completely with that. But as of right now, the Lions are going to snot pound and ass beat the Jags. Okay.
I might put some bets on for that game because I'm gonna win some money.
All right.
That sounds like a good idea, man.
We have the inept Rams against the Patriots. I got the Rams winning this game, but who knows? Okay, the Rams were supposed to beat the Dolphins last week, and my God,
yeah, I don't know what happened.
So because the Rams being the Rams, but
let me ask you a question: is this a trash game?
No, this ain't a trash game. The trash game.
The trash game is that Saints and Browns.
Yeah, it's that Saints and Browns game.
Okay,
but the Rams. And the Patriots, I like the Rams to win this. On paper, they should win this, but oh my God, the Rams are, stop it. So this next game is another pick'em game. This game could swing either way. I would not put money on it unless you just like living dangerously. The Ravens travel to Pittsburgh to play the Steelers. And for this game, I'm taking the Steelers with the upset.
I'm not surprised. Surprised.
Why would that be an upset?
Well, record-wise, the Ravens are,
Not to mention, you also got to remember too, Steve. Pittsburgh was not expected to be like this at this point in the season when teams were looking at them in the offseason. Baltimore had way higher expectations than Pittsburgh.
No, that don't make it up. The Steelers are in first place right now, and they already beat them at home. That's not an upset.
Well, going by pedigree, that's what I'm saying. The cachet, I didn't check the line on this game, So I don't know what the line is on that. While I'm talking, Brandon, could you check that, please? But I like the Steelers winning this game, and I do believe it would be upset. I could be wrong. I think the Steelers are a home dog in this game. It could be, but I could be wrong. So Brandon, check that for me, please. But I like the Steelers over the Ravens. Next game, the Seattle Seahawks travel to Levi Stadium to play the 49ers. Christian McCaffrey is back. The Niners beat the Seahawks without Christian McCaffrey, without Talanoa Hufanga, without a lot of these other guys, and they're all back. And the Niners are at home. I don't see why the Niners should lose this game. If they do lose this game, y'all gonna see me cussing on this show next Wednesday. There's no reason for them to lose the game other than the Niners special teams being awful. Okay. And that's what's gonna keep them out of the Super Bowl this year too. Falcons at Broncos. I like this game for the Broncos. The Broncos are quietly playing some solid football. I don't think the Falcons will lose two in a row, but it's possible. And I like the Broncos at home. So I'm going with the Broncos over the Falcons. Next game is another pick'em game. This is the Chiefs at the Bills. Now, many people feel like if the Chiefs are going to lose a game, it would be against the Bills. My philosophy is I think they're going to lose a trap game to somebody that they shouldn't lose to. I think the Chiefs are going to get up to play the Bills. I think that the Chiefs missed their trap game last week when they almost lost to the Broncos. That was their trap game. They're going to get up to play the Bills. I think the Chiefs are going to let down to play somebody that they think they could just walk over, and they'll lose that game. So I like the Chiefs over the Bills. But do not bet on this game, people. If you want to, unless you just, again, like if you like living dangerously, do not take money. Do not bet money on Chiefs and Bills. Okay, so the Ravens are the favorite for the Ravens and Steelers game. So that's why, the Steelers are the underdog. They're a home dog. But I still like the Steelers to win. That's going back to that. Thank you, Brandon. Bengals at Chargers. I think Jim Harbaugh's got starting to get this thing rolling. Like we know he does. He's a program flipper. That's his claim to fame. I can take somebody who's mediocre and turn them into stars. I can take a team that's trash and turn them into something that was watchable.
He's a head coach. He's a football coach.
He is a football absolutely.
Jim Harbaugh is a coach. I'm sorry. Jim Harbaugh is a coach. Mike Tomlin is a coach. Just name a couple.
Yes, and he's definitely a program flipper. So I like the Chargers because they're starting to get a roll going. I think they're going to get better as the season goes on, barring a bunch of injuries. I like the Chargers over the Bengals. Texans at the Cowboys. Yeah. I don't think CJ Stroud throws 3 interceptions in this game. The Cowboys have one of the worst run defenses in the league.
No, the Cowboys have one of the worst teams in the league.
Well, we know that, but I'm just going statistically. Joe Mixon is averaging 100 yards a game right now.
Oh, God. Joe Mixon about to get 150, 175.
Unless Bobby Slowick does something incredibly stupid, all they have to do is run. Joe Mixon and the other running backs get the ball out of CJ Stroud's hands quickly. They get caught in 3rd and long situations, set up some elaborate screens to get the ball to, tunnel screens, Tank Dell, Joe Mixon, that type of deal, because Micah Parsons is going to pin his ears back on 3rd and long if they get caught in the 3rd and long. And you can use his speed against him. I like the Texans winning this one going away. I think it's probably by 10 points, at the least 10 points. Also, Nico Collins is coming back. He'll be playing in this game, and so will Anderson, the edge rusher for the Houston Texans. And I like him up against Tyler Guyton. Easy peasy. Danielle Hunter's been there already, so I think they're gonna give not Chase Young. Why I said Chase Young? Lord, I think they're gonna give Cooper Rush and or Trey Lance the business.
Why is Cooper Rush still starting?
I don't know, because Trey Lance is really bad. Maybe that's why. It doesn't matter. I mean, if we want to be real about it,
I mean, no, it doesn't. No, it doesn't matter. But you traded a 4th-round pick for this guy.
He's a
Yeah.
highly paid and compensated for backup Trey Lance, just sitting on the bench. He needs to play the rest of the season. Like you
Thank
said,
you. Just look. You know who Cooper Rush
we
is.
know what we got Cooper Rush. We know what we got in him. Let the young kid that we're paying a lot of money for play.
and I agree with what you're saying. I absolutely agree with both of y'all. But let's consider who's in charge down there.
I know
what
that.
kind of things have they done that made sense at all?
Pando. I know that, but that's the kind of stuff. Like, and look, listen. I have been way more patient than Steve. I'm sorry, Pando, to cut your segment off. I've been way more patient than Steve. Anybody can tell you that. Okay, Steve has, and I'm not just talking about this year. I'm just talking about in general. But even I'm at a point now where I'm just like, dude, I'm ready to pick up something and throw it either through a wall, out the window, off the second floor. I'm ready to do something. This is so frustrating. This year has been the most frustrating ever as a Cowboys fan, even more than 3, 5, and 11 seasons in a row.
Yes.
This is the most frustrated I've ever been.
And most of your realistic Cowboy fans, which that's roughly 5% or less of their entire fan base, are feeling like you feel. There's still some people running around talking about this all year. If we could just get,
are they still saying that's Eric?
There are still people saying this.
Eric,
there are still people saying this. There are still people saying this. There are still people saying this. I'm not making this up.
Hey, this could be a this is like 1A, 1B as far as the Stone Cold Lock too.
Talking about how they gonna win out the rest of the season and this, that.
What?
Yeah,
what?
I need
How?
names. You start tagging me again on Facebook.
I will. If I see something egregiously stupid, I will go ahead and tag you in there so you can handle your own fan base, because I don't speak idiot. But basically, if we could just we could just do this, and if Zeke just hold on to the ball, even though he's only averaging about 2 yards per carry, that type of thing. So
Zeke should be cut.
He should be cut. He shouldn't be in the league right now. But that's neither here nor there. But the point is that there are people that feel like they're literally in disbelief when Dallas lose. Like last week, they got dog walked by the Eagles and was in disbelief that they got dog walked by the Eagles. I'm like, how did you not see that coming? And they're gonna get dog walked by Houston again. And they're gonna be people that's like, oh, and I'm like, how did you not see that coming? So the battle for I-45 is not actually a battle this year. Houston's going to win that one handily. So to recap my picks, give me the Eagles over the Commanders. Don't put money on that. The Dolphins over the Raiders, Saints over the Browns, Colts over the Jets, Vikings over the Titans, Packers over the Bears, Lions over the Jags, Stone Cold Lock of the Week. Rams versus Patriots. Give me the Rams. I wouldn't put money on that one either. Steelers over the Ravens. Don't put money on that. Niners over the Seahawks. Broncos over the Falcons. Chiefs over the Bills. Don't put money on that one either. Chargers over the Bengals and Texas over the Cowboys. Yeah. So those are those picks.
Lord have mercy. I tell you, man. I don't know. I don't know, man. How
my boy's stressed out over there.
And I understand. You have to remember, as a Niners fan, Chip Kelly was once our coach.
Eric, this is ridiculous, man. This is ridiculous.
Oh man.
You know what? Okay, whatever. Let me put myself together so we can just end the show the way it needs to be ended. Thanks to everybody for being patient with me for this one or 2 minutes. Thank you. I appreciate y'all. Love y'all so much. Thank y'all. All fans, thank you. Appreciate y'all. This has been another week of Just a Fan Podcast. We're live every Wednesday, 9:15-ish Eastern, 8:15 Central. Yeah, you know how we do. Basically, okay. We are live on YouTube, Facebook, and Facebook and Twitch. You can follow us on TikTok. Pando did a video. I was supposed to put up on social media. I got sick yesterday. My energy levels were low, so I just didn't get around to it. My bad. Sorry, Pando. Um, but yeah, you can follow us on Facebook, TikTok, IG, and Twitter. Yes, I still call it Twitter. I don't care. You can also listen to us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Um, I'm Coach Wentz, NFL Encyclopedia, and the very, very upset Dallas Cowboy fan who's ready to throw something. I don't care if it's a couch or a 700-pound file cabinet or something. I want to throw something. Okay. Um, let's see. Down below is Pando 316, the good guy with the black hat. That direction, Trish TV, the quarterback of the show. That direction down below at the angle, Steve Space Age White. Good night, y'all, ladies and gentlemen. Peace, and we'll see y'all next week.
Peace, y'all.
Fire Jerry Jones.